Greetings, everyone. DFG here, Gideon's Flight. Guys, I'll tell you what. I want to start this video off by saying, my, how the mighty has fallen. If you're familiar with that term, then you know that's in the book of Revelations, and it's talking about a city. In some sense, I think it's metaphoric, mythical, but it's called Mystery Babylon. And Mystery Babylon is this kingdom that crashes before the whole world, a kingdom that's so powerful that no one believed that this kingdom could ever be destroyed in that particular time of this kingdom. A kingdom to come, I might add. So, now this was prophesied, 2,000 plus years ago, close to 2,000 years ago. And so in that statement that's made about this great mystery Babylon, city Babylon, when it crashes, that's one of the expressions that the people around the world shares. They say, my, how the mighty has fallen. Now here's the body of why I'm doing this video today, at least the message of why I'm doing this video today. And that is, where we have come as a nation of people, when it comes down to telling the truth. When I was a kid, one of the things that I feared more than anything was the consequences of lying. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I didn't tell a lie when I was a kid, especially if I was in trouble. Yeah, I would tell a lie. It's the kid who hand gets caught in the cookie jar and or the cookie jar is open and the kid got crumbs on his mouth and mom asks him, well, have you eaten any cookies? And he's saying no, and there are cookie crumbs all over him or her. So, we know that, kids lie, people lie. But I never thought that we'd be in a situation, or I'd live to see the day, let me say it better, that a lie would become, for the most part, preferred over truth. And I know some of you are saying, nah, that's not true. I don't prefer a lie over truth. Well, let me ask you a question. Have you lied recently? Or have you been lied to recently? Maybe that's even a better question. Have you lied recently, or have you been lied to recently? And what were the consequences? Were there any consequences? Were there any? So as a kid, to me, telling a lie was akin to, I can't think of anything that maybe caused me to be more afraid, because the consequences were going to be severe. And I knew that even at the time, of telling that lie. But again, I never thought a day would come where that, people would just lie for the sake of lying without any regard to any type of consequence. And not only consequence, but being rewarded for lying. Think about it from that perspective. How many people have been rewarded for lying? Whether it's business leaders, whether it are employees inside of a place of business, whether it's friends, whether it's relationships. I mean, the bottom line, just not because they had to lie, it's because lie today has become almost another form of truth. Even better said, I guess you could say it's become the preferred method of truth. Just lying. And again, and I'm not policing. I'm not the lying police. I'm not sitting here trying to come across. I'm not sitting here my intention is not to imply that somehow or another I'm the most virtuous man that's ever walked, this planet. I know I'm not. But I'm also honest enough to know that, if I tell a lie, if I lie, that's not good. And under no circumstances, should I feel good about telling a lie, even if that lie allowed me to, get away with an act, that should have been consequential. I mean, it's like the police pulling you on the side of the road, for speeding, and he said you were going 65, and you were going 65, but you said, no, I wasn't. I was doing 50, or I didn't see the sign, even though you saw the sign. You knew what the speed limit was. So in that arena is what I'm talking to, not the speeding aspect of it and getting stopped. which is still a lie too if you knew that you were speeding and denied that you were. Go to court and fight it as though you had not, that you weren't speeding, and many other things here. But the fact that as a people, lying has become the preferred way of dealing with things. The preferred way of dealing with things. And, Yahweh forbid if someone speaks the truth. When someone starts speaking truth, then all of a sudden they become everybody's enemy. I don't want to hear the truth. I don't want to hear the truth. Keep your opinion to yourself. That's just your opinion. You're like, well, what? But I'm telling you the truth. I don't care. I don't want to hear. That's just your opinion. So why do you not want to hear the truth? Because it makes you uncomfortable? And we've become a political PC, a political correctness society now. Everybody's afraid to tell the truth for fear that somehow or another they're going to be ostracized, scapegoated, marginalized, criticized, called out of their names. You follow me? Because they have an opinion about something that quite frankly, maybe not even an opinion, it's because they're speaking the truth. Now let me give you some closure around this particular video. I'm getting to the end here. I'm looking at Fox News, Sunday morning news. Chris Wallace is the moderator. And I mean, they are going crazy this morning talking about, United States pulling out of Syria. They're talking about, the border wall and all these things that, Donald Trump has done. Interestingly enough, they say that, Donald Trump's proponents say that he should not have done these things. Although Donald Trump ran on building a wall, if you anybody that was paying attention to the debates, and if you weren't paying attention to the debates and what the subject matter was, then you shouldn't be criticizing any decision that Donald Trump is making. You should just keep your mouth shut. You know what I'm saying? The die has been cast, and now you running out there trying to be offended. You should have been listening. You should have been offended and have an opinion way back then. So your opinion and my opinion does not matter because you decided to disengage and now you want to engage because you don't like the man. But here's the facts of the matter. Donald Trump ran on a platform that he would build a border wall and that he would get us out of these wars all over the world. He said he would focus on America first, whether you like it or not. That's what he said. That's what he ran on. He was more or less selected based off of that truth, or at least off of those promises. Now they're on Fox News criticizing him, saying, how dare he pull troops out of Syria? How dare, he build a wall? And then the guy comes in, well, isn't that what he promised? You know what they said? Well, we don't care what he promised the people. We don't care about that. So regardless, we don't put America over our allies. We don't put America over, our military. But that's what he said he was going to do is with the guy. I don't care that, at the end of the day, Americans, and they didn't say it like this, but I'm telling you, this is what they meant. Americans are too dumb to know what's good for them. That's pretty much what they said. You don't listen to the citizenry. You don't listen to your voters. Your voters are too dumb to understand these kind of complicated matters. But when they want your vote, they get out in front of you and tell you what you need or what you want matters all 100% of the time. Lie. So here it is, Donald Trump is doing what he said he would do, and he's getting criticized for doing what he said he would do because what they really want him to do was lie. Say he was going to do something, and then get in office like many of your previous presidents, including Obama, and not do it. And let me say this too about Obama. And, I know some of you guys you get all in your feelings about Obama. He's our first African-American president. Well, he may be the first African that became president of the United States because his father is African and his mother is Caucasian. So Barack Obama is not a generational black man from America. His father was born in Africa. half of his relatives are Africans, Kenyans. So while you getting all up about the civil rights movement and, our first black Obama's father and ancestors had nothing to do with the civil rights movement in America. Obama's father and relatives had nothing to do with Marcus Garvey, W.E.B. Du Bois, or Booker T. Washington, or any of those men, Nat Turners of the world, all these men, Frederick Douglass, all these, they were in Africa. Obama's legacy has nothing to do with you, so-called African American. I'm sorry to disappoint you. Now, if you want to talk about what's happening in Kenya with the Mau Mau and Giacomo Kenyatta back in the 30s and the 40s, then you can have then Obama can talk about that, because that's what his father and his people were involved in. The running the colonists out of the Congo. That's his legacy. That's his family's history. It has nothing to do with your civil rights struggle, the struggle of Jim Crow in America, the struggle of black codes in America, the struggle of slavery in America. Obama relatives weren't slaves here. Nobody. He didn't have one on his mother's side or his father's side. No relatives, guys, who had anything to do with slavery here in America, Jim Crow laws here in America, segregation here in America. Having to go in the back doors, in homes and restaurants, getting served at separate windows, riding back of buses, segregated movie theaters, etc., etc. Obama family had nothing to do with that. He was not a part of that. They were not a part of the struggle at all. Zero. Now, you should know that. I shouldn't have to tell you that. But I'm telling you that. I digress. Back to the subject matter at hand. When has lying become so preferred that we'd rather believe a lie than the truth? When has it become that preferred? And I'm going to end this video. Well, there's a saying, and I think it's in the, I'm probably going to get this wrong, but I want to say it's 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2. And right about the latter part of those verses, it says that because they rejected the truth, this is Yahweh talking about mankind, because they rejected the truth, that he would give those men and women over to a strong delusion that they might believe a lie. This is prophesied that we would hate the truth so much that he would allow us to now start accepting lies, and those lies have become our truths, regardless of how ridiculous and how dangerous and harmful those lies might be to you and I as citizens of this great country. Well, maybe the great part, not so much. But we're here. It's ours, always has been ours. And this is what I'm going to say to you parents out there. The adults out here, I'm afraid that for most of you, it's probably just too late. I think you're probably set in your ways and you don't care what someone like, Squanto has to say. I realize that. I get that. I can handle it. I'm a big boy. But to you parents of little children, you're going to have to figure out how to protect these kids and how to reinforce into them what integrity looks like, what character looks like, what honesty looks like. And that's going to be a hard road to hoe when everything that they're looking at is an illusion of the truth or some perverted form of truth. You got your work cut out for you. But boy, oh, how the mighty have fallen. And as regards to, Donald Trump and his politics, I don't have a horse in that race. I said it before, I'll say it again. But you're going to criticize the guy for doing what he said he was going to do? And not only that, but go out and call him, a maniac for the very thing that he was voted in office to do? And now when he does it, you're saying, how dare he listen to the American people? How dare he listen to those idiots, those dummies? Why isn't he more like his predecessors who just told you what you wanted to hear and then went out and did exactly what they wanted to do, just the opposite of what they told you that they would do? Like Obama again. I'm forced. Exhale. Love you guys. I'm done. Bye now.